First of all, I lost my right leg in 2001 as a result of contracting meningococcal disease. 9 years after that, I decided to amputate my other leg because I had a number of problems associated with that. I went and saw 5 different surgeons. Eventually I found one that wasn't telling me exactly what I wanted to hear, but he was explaining the risks, but also asking me what I wanted to do. And I think there was something really empowering in that. The 5.5-week lead up was horrendous. I wanted to jump ship, I wanted to bail on that decision, but I went through with it. That decision to become a bilateral amputee was, I think, the best decision I've ever made in my life, to be honest with you. It's a really, really lonely and isolating time when you have amputation, so to be able to connect with someone that has been through something similar and is able to shed some light on the things they've experienced can alleviate a lot of the anxiety associated with losing a limb. And I think that word anxiety is a big one because the unknowing, the uncertainty is what creates that. And the more that we can give guidance, help, support and information to people to alleviate that stress and anxiety and uncertainty in the early days, the more we can do that, the better. And that's why the peer support program is so valuable to amputees around this country. So someone like a social worker or a counsellor that might give support, that's perfectly relevant and very valuable for people, but I don't think there's anything that is going to substitute lived experience. Having someone that you can connect with which is similar age, maybe has been through a similar circumstance, and that lived experience, there really is no substitute for that. It's amazing when you see the shift in people's mindsets when you walk into a hospital relatively pain-free, upright, and you're walking well when someone's just experienced limb loss. They sort of perk up and they say, wow, look what's possible, that their life isn't necessarily over. And I certainly would never go in and say, yep, you should become an amputee, your life will be better. That's never something you can say because it's an individual decision. It's a very personal decision that people have to make on their own. Biggest tip without a doubt is that you should never be uncomfortable in your socket. I've been through times where I've been cast, I've gone in, I've got my legs, I've walked away and I've been miserable and in pain for 2-3 days afterwards where I can barely walk. And then I go back and I get it fixed and it's still not working, and then I go back again and again and again until it starts to work for me. Never ever settle for being in any discomfort. Kick and scream and moan about it until you are comfortable in your socket and until you're at a point where you can walk comfortably, move on with your life and do day-to-day activities. I think as amputees, our life can be tough. You know, there's no doubt about it. I have really rough days. The best way to get out of that is to ask what's next and look to the future, how you can improve your situation, and then take steps to actually making that a reality. I go and see a psychologist. Getting professional help from a psychologist can be the difference between moving from where you are and where you need to be and getting that support, not just when you're having a rough time, not when you're having a rough month. Sometimes the best time to go to see a psych is when you're on top of your game. Just to call me out on those rubbish things that we keep telling ourselves on a daily basis, and just echoing that back to me and saying, well, is it? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess you're right, it probably isn't. And then those blockages sort of are released and then you can move on and say, well, you know, that's actually an irrational belief that I've been holding. I've formed that, how can I get rid of it? And how can I create a better belief to take its place?